So this is a long time coming, but here's how I went from this sheet of plywood to this dining bench. Now, this was not the first idea. The first idea was like a little coffee table. And what I planned on doing was something like this, where I would laminate a bunch of strips of plywood into this little coffee table with a little shelf underneath it, all thrown together with some box joints. So obviously I didn't end up with that, but at least the first half of this video or so, this is the process of me trying to make this coffee table. Here we go. Alright, so I got to here in the gluing process, and then I just stopped working on this project. Maybe I lacked some tools, I don't know. But I basically stopped here and then went around and did every other video on my channel up to this point. And then, or building DIY stuff. My wife found a maple veneered plywood that was from a kitchen remodel in the shed, and we had some cinder blocks, and we were just using this as a bench. And I thought, hey, I've got some laminated sheets of, or I got some, laminated slabs of plywood, and so I think I can come up with a base for that same top. And so with a little redesign, I took the sides and added a stretcher and then put the top on it. So I'm going to go with that. And we're off on second wind here. Oh boy. So that was kind of devastating. But this design has gotten twisted around so many times, I wasn't going to let this curveball get the best of me. So I decided to break up. Oh, this piece was already broken. So I got apart all the broken glue seams. And so now that they were in pieces, I could actually run them through the planer, and that actually helped speed up the process. So once these were planed, I was able to take them to the table saw and cut off all the jagged ends. And then my solution for these pieces splitting apart was to add a maple spacer, hard maple spacer in between to make up the difference now. 13.5, perfect size. So when I got to the gluing process, I realized that the plywood would look better all glued back together, so it would be a big chunk of plywood. And then I would rip down the spacer of maple and kind of put a veneer on each side, so the piece would be capped like this in maple, but I'd rip it down, and so I would have 4 pieces. So that's what I went with, and here's the glue up.